In today's show, we get a rare glimpse inside a leadership meeting.
We've got to support each other as senior players and be the ones that are proactively bringing that energy.
Tex chats about celebrating his 200-game milestone, and Nixie reveals the biggest lessons he's learned during his first year as senior coach. Hello everyone and welcome to the Optus Crows Show. I'm Mark Bickley. Earlier this year, Daniel Jackson joined the club as their new Leadership Development Manager. The former Richmond veteran has since become a key voice on game day, providing vital on-field support as the team's runner. One of Jackson's most important roles is working with the Crows leadership group to nurture a team culture that focuses on putting others first. We were granted exclusive access inside one of their meetings to get a rare look at these discussions.
So I just wanted to do a little bit of an audit. Since this process began, these were the main things we were concentrating on. I just wanted to see how you guys felt we've gone. My role is the Leadership Development Manager, which kind of encompasses a lot of things. The primary one, I guess, is working with the key senior leaders here, make sure we're developing their leadership abilities and capabilities, but also helping them do their job the best they can. Our group, which is obviously headed up by Sloaney, has Tommy Duday, Tom Lynch, Brodie Smith and Matty Crouch, a good range of sort of senior and younger guys. Their main function is to be the custodians of what the football department want to stand for, so epitomising the culture, driving standards, being that support mechanism across the group. As a mindset over the last 4-week block, what do we reckon?
Around that intensity and the way guys are training has been better.
We've got to support each other as senior players and be the ones that are proactively bringing that energy, listening with the same passion you want to be heard, so that that session can roll.
It's clicking because of a lot of those little things that we weren't getting right a while ago. So this is good that we want to keep identifying. All the guys are quite different. Now, Matty Crouch is a great leader on field, and so we've been really working on how does he have a really strong influence in engaging and setting up structures in a game. Sloaney, for him, it's just a support mechanism. How can we help him do what he's been doing for a long time? And then you get like a Tommy Lynch, who's just absolutely epitomises everything we stand for around prioritising others. He's constantly finding ways to give to his teammates, to give to the club, to give to coaches.
We want to be trusting of the guys to be able to deliver on those days, so we give, and the empowerment model is to each of those, like to everyone.
Leadership in footy clubs is quite transient. There's always ins and outs. So we can't just rely on 5 senior guys out of a group of 40 plus. How are we going to make sure that we've got blokes supporting them from underneath and able to step up in the future?
Other day off just gone. Mate, like you were in there early running the group. You were doing the same, run about 1 million cross-training sessions.
You always want better, but I think there's been a huge improvement.
Last weekend, Jordon Butts became the Crows' 9th debutant for the season. The young defender was drafted in 2018 from the Murray Bushrangers and impressed development coaches in his 19 games for the club's SANFL side last year. We caught up with Butsy after his first AFL game against Geelong.
We're watching Taylor Walker kick his goal for his 200th game. All the boys are getting around him. And the next thing you know, he flicks the footy to me and tells me if I kick it, I get to play. And unfortunately, I sprayed the crap out of it. He said lucky in the back line, so I don't have to kick goals that often, I don't think. Honoured to get my jumper presented by Kyle. I've had a lot to do with him. I've lived with him for a bit. He's really helped me out to the player I am today. So it was pretty cool to get, him to present my jumper and, yeah. As a meaningful person.
For me, it was an absolute honour to present him with the Guernsey. When Butsy first got drafted, he lived with me for the first 6 weeks. So to see from where he's come from when he first got to the footy club, the little shy guy to now playing his first game, and personally, it's a great achievement to play your first game, and it means everything to you. It's something you've worked hard towards your whole life. So I'm sure it was a very special moment for Butsy.
Nixie, he pulled me aside before the game and he just reassured me that I deserve to be here, and he knows how I play. He knows I'm strong enough and quick enough and capable enough to play. So yeah, it was good to get that reassurance from him, and gave me a lot of confidence in the game. Thinking back on it, you know, this is all I've ever wanted to really do, is play AFL footy ever since I was a kid. You know, all that time I've put into footy, and I finally, you know, get there. It's very rewarding. I was pretty switched on, ready to go, so I knew, yeah, the task in hand was going to be tough, but yeah, battled away, and I thought did really well.
It was an absolute honour to see how far he's come and worked with him over the last, 2 years now. Like to finally see him succeed and get his opportunity, and he showed that he can play at the level. He played really well on the weekend, and he was great, so I'm sure there's many more games to come for him.
Well, stay tuned, because there's plenty more to come on the show, including a chat with Taylor Walker after his 200th game.
Welcome back to the Optus Crows Show. I'm ALANA Smith. Well, ahead of the club's Tuesday night clash, we thought we'd take a look at one of their most memorable wins against Hawthorn. In 1993, the Crows faced the Hawks in an elimination final at the MCG. Over 20,000 passionate supporters made the pilgrimage across the border to watch the club play in their first final series, and they didn't leave disappointed. Adelaide claimed a 15-point victory and arrived home to an airport filled with excited fans. Thanks to Toyota, let's revisit that match.
Final gets underway. The roar goes up at the MCG as they face each other, and Wren wins first up.
We'd had, you know, a pretty good season. We had Tony Modra, who had a remarkable year, kicked over 100 goals. We had great players who had won stacks of footy, and Tony McGuinness was, you know, one of the best players in the comp at that stage as well. And we'd also introduced a whole heap of young players. You know, Mark Rasciuto was, you know, in his first year, or you know, early on in his career, and Sean Wren and players like that. So yeah, it was an exciting time. We had a great balance.
Randall Bone, hand pass to Liptak. Liptak to Modra. Modra straightens up from 35 metres, and Tony Modra goes bang, and he's kicked the goal. Now Nigel Smart, he's kicked it, yes!
Even though we won, you know, 9 or 10 games in our first 2 years, we really had struggled to win away, and we were a great team at Footy Park, so we had to overcome that ultimately if we were going to have success. So, you know, going in the finals, I think everyone really enjoyed playing at the MCG. It's always been the mecca of footy.
Bone, 55 metres out. Oh, it's good, it's home!
To get away to a good start was important, and I guess it just confirmed that, you know, we were good enough. I think that was probably in the back of everyone's mind, you know, were we good enough to be able to compete with some of these big Melbourne clubs.
Short pass up towards the 50, Smart a good pickup. Gets past Jenky easily. Booms a long kick. Oh, terrific kick. Yes!
Got the confidence going, then the game did ebb and flow, but in the end, you know, we were a pretty fit team as well, and we ran over the top of them.
Gowers takes the mark. There's the siren! The Crows with their own bit of history.
It's a great day today. I think we had a lot of spectators here, a lot of crowd, and we were really G'd on by them, and sort of G'd on to really improve this week in Melbourne.
Just remembering, everything was all new. You know, it was our first final ever, so there was this enormous groundswell of support coming from South Australia. When we were on the plane, everyone else got off, and we were asked to stay on, and the pilot said to us, we just need to be a bit careful here, because there's the airport is just full of people, and we couldn't believe it. And there was about 3,000 or 4,000 people there, and they were just jam-packed, and as we came through, everyone just sort of surged forward and tried to push towards the player, and it was like literally a little tunnel through all the people. It was just quite remarkable. It's like nothing we had expected or had ever seen before.
Well, just a reminder to visit afc.com.au for all the latest Crows news. Connect with the club via their social media accounts on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, and make sure you're following at The Crows Show on Twitter so you don't miss out on any of the exclusive stories from our program. Well, the Optus Crows Show is now into its 6th season, and each week we've been reaching into the Crows Show vault to relive a story from years past. Let's travel back in time thanks to Bendigo Bank.
Adelaide Oval set new standards in Australian stadium design. Architects knew they had to create not only a sports arena but also a viewing experience for spectators.
The live play is fantastic, but if you don't make the spectator experience good, on the difficult days when it's, your team's not winning or it's raining, they'll stay home and watch it on telly.
And fans universally agree.
Well, look at it. I mean, it's one of the best ovals. It's great atmosphere. It's just a fantastic place to go watch footy.
But Perth's new Optus Stadium has raised the bar even further. Recently named the world's most beautiful sports facility. And overseas, the latest projects are spectacular. The 75,000-seat Allianz Arena in Munich and the $1.6 billion Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, which boasts the world's biggest video screen, an 8-panel retractable roof and a bar stretching the length of the ground.
Ultimately, it's all about spectator experience, and if the experience is not right, people won't come. And I think technology and the use of technology is the one thing that you'll notice different in the future.
The emphasis now is all about enhancing the spectator's experience.
There's more effort being put into sound and light. There's IT coming where, you'll be able to use your phone much more.
So if more space was available at Adelaide Oval, how could the facilities be improved?
So rather than just kiosk outlets and things, provide more food and beverage options so that you could, as a group or as a family, sort of have casual meals and things before the game or during the game.
But that doesn't bother fans when it comes to Australia's best stadium.
Adelaide Oval.
Adelaide Oval. Adelaide Oval. Adelaide Oval.
Coming up, we catch up with former skipper Taylor Walker after his 200th AFL game.
Last weekend, Taylor Walker celebrated his 200th AFL game. It was an emotional achievement for the former skipper, whose love for the club began as a young Crows supporter growing up in Broken Hill. We caught up with Tex to find out what this milestone means to him.
I hope you don't mind, I want to quote a very, very great man, a bloke I respect massively, the late Phil Walsh. He goes, "A boy from Broken Hill. He's passionate about this club, he always thinks team first, and he consistently meets elite standards. But most importantly, Tex influences others to follow him in a direction that he wants this club to go." I think it was spot on.
Very overwhelming week, that's for sure, but amazing from the support that I got from so many people, beautiful text messages, people ringing up and sharing their experiences and fun that we've had along the time, and some videos that got sent throughout the week from past players, and some current players said some things. So yeah, it was very overwhelming and a bit of an emotional week.
Tex's care and passion for the footy club is something I've noticed from day dot. He's just like, he's always made me feel so welcome, and this was my footy club as well. He's been the heart and soul of this club for that long, and I'm proud of you, mate. It's a huge achievement.
I suppose it's one of those things that when you finish your career, you look back and think, geez, a lot of hard work and dedication and time and effort have gone into those games, but it makes you feel pretty uncomfortable, to be honest. There's some very, very good players that have played out for our club, and I think, what do we got, 4 300 and about 12, 13, 200 players. So yeah, I feel very privileged and proud to be able to represent this football club for 200 games.
As we said, there's so much love for Taylor Walker and what he's meant to this footy club.
to have Matt Crouch and Rory Sloane chair me off was pretty special. They would have put their hand up to do that, I'd imagine, being very close mates of mine, so I was very lucky to have both of them be able to lift me off 100 kilos. A nice photo that I'll be able to hang up in the pool room or cellar one day.
Tex might not be the captain of the club anymore, but he continues to be an important role model for his teammates. Thanks to Flight Centre, let's fly around social media to see how the players celebrated Walker's 200th game. Participation in women's footy continues to grow every year, and while female teams at local clubs have been quick to flourish in their grassroots community, there have been some challenges along the way. One of these has been the ability to provide extra equipment for their new recruits. Luckily, the Crows' major partner Toyota has stepped in to provide uniforms for 100 female footy sides across Australia. Today we're catching up with the Hope Valley Footy Club to see how Toyota's Good for Footy initiative has benefited their women's players.
My name is Paige Gaskin and I play in the Opens Women's for Hope Valley. Footy means pride. I have a lot of pride in my passions, and it's such a great opportunity to be able to have that passion with a group of other girls.
Riley Cook, and I play for the Hope Valley Women's Football Club. I've been playing at Hope Valley since 2018, so that'd be 2 years, and playing here means that I get opportunities to meet people and have close friends. 2020 has been the inaugural year for the women's here at Hope Valley. I feel that all clubs have struggled with funding and things for women's, but we've been fortunate enough this year to have Toyota Good for Footy raffle gave us the opportunity to have new quality and all matching Guernseys for this year. So as a team and as a group, we all go out looking like a really close-knit unit. It was an amazing experience to be able to run out as a team with the same Guernsey, the same shorts and everything. It's such a nice thing to be a part of a community and a group and show it off. Feels great to run out with a bunch of girls that I'm really close friends with. We have a great camaraderie this year, going out all together, the same uniforms and everything. It shows that we're a club that takes women's footy very seriously, and we're here to play and have fun and enjoy ourselves.
Don't go anywhere, because after the break we'll hear from Crows coach Matthew Nix. Well, last week the Crows gave the Cats a scare, with the team showing some promising signs in the loss against Geelong. Thanks to Optus, let's take a look at what the fans shared on social media during the game.
Sir Doug Nicholls' round produced perfect conditions for football. To commemorate Taylor Walker's 200th match, supporters posted some of their favourite memories involving the former skipper. And some fans were lucky enough to witness the milestone from the stands.
Every week on the show we ask senior coach Matthew Nix a question, thanks to Thomas Farms. This week we want to know what's been the biggest learning that has come from his first year as senior coach.
Where do I begin with learnings? Look, there's a lot of learnings. It's such an unprecedented environment that we're in. So I've been lucky enough to be in the industry for a long time and experience a lot throughout that. But this year's been, a standout. It's been extremely challenging. Some of the biggest learnings I've had are around managing people in really tough times, and it's been rewarding. We've got a great group of people at this footy club, so I really enjoy working with them. One of the biggest learnings from all of it is just do the right thing by people and prioritise others, and we've done that really well as a group.
Well, that brings us to the end of the show, but thanks for your company, and do remember you can keep up to date with all the latest Crows news at afc.com.au and by following the club on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Don't forget to tune into Channel 7 on Tuesday night to watch the Crows take on Hawthorn at Adelaide Oval. We look forward to seeing you again next week. Until then, it's bye for now.